So one of the stocks that has billions of dollars that have left the company since past couple few years here is LAZR, and it's an interesting one to watch, right? It looks like it's selling down, and they just recently reported earnings. During their earnings spike, we were watching the company consolidate from left to right from December until their earnings. They kind of broke below, started to push up above this 200-day moving average, and they came out with their earnings. They spiked to $5.60. We didn't buy, we weren't playing the earnings. But then after it, they sold down to here around 382. Then we bought a trade. Our entry was right there that says 1 cent because we already sold all of our position essentially. But we bought in at $4.05. Millions of dollars flooded into the company for a short period of time there, and it ended up going up about 20% in about 4 hours. And we sold before that. I think we sold right around 10% gain. This was last week, towards the end of the week. And since then, we sold our profit. It has sold back down to this 200-day moving average. So you might say, Will, this looks kind of weird. At one point, it was up here, $18. It looks like it's just selling down. And I actually didn't have that perspective on it the first time I covered it. The first time we covered it, all that we knew was that they had LiDAR. So their LiDAR tech is one that has been used. It's Luminar Technologies here. And they go on top of cars. They got some partnerships with Volvo. Okay, March 2025, they announced a partnership there. You can see the sensor. They got partnerships with, I believe it's Hyundai. They're doing trucking and logistics, industrial, mobility. You might say, what's the value in self-driving cars if Tesla is one of the main competitors, or maybe you're going to have the Robotaxi? Well, when we went to CES, we got to see this firsthand, this sensor, and it's really good. It's so good that it's actually, in fact, better and more accurate than that of Tesla. In fact, there was one moment where this YouTuber, his name is Mark Rober. It's actually a really cool thing where he did Tesla wall. And essentially what he did is he drew a wall of the road, or took a photo of the road, put it on a wall right in the middle of the road. So it looked like, if you were using a camera, it looked like you just keep going straight to stay on the road. But basically what happened is the Tesla drove through the wall. It thought that the picture that was hanging, this huge picture, was real, and it drove through, which is interesting. And then you have the that same wall, when you have this technology from LAZR, they use real LiDAR, which is like this it's kind of like the same thing that you use for scanning, like Invisalign. They came out with this LiDAR technology that how do they do the scanning of the mouth? They came out with this technology called iTero. And back when I was working with Invisalign in 2017, I don't know if you guys know, but they had this technology that was proprietary, where they could scan your mouth and it would have a 3D print, and you don't have to do that nasty, like when you get braces, how they take that nasty flavored toothpaste stuff or whatever, and they put it in your mouth and you have to wait 5 minutes and then they like pry it out of your mouth or whatever. Rather than doing that, they were doing a LiDAR tech, and it basically just scans. And so this technology scans the road and identifies things in a real scan, and it's identifying pedestrians, or in this case, what the Tesla could not identify. So that's why their tech is kind of taking off. You could see they do better through most different weather than others, and they're starting to improve. And they got some partnerships there. You got with Volvo, you got with Polestar, Kodiak, so trucking, autonomous trucks. They also have a partnership with Nissan. And so they've sold off. They had a lot of IPO hype at one point, right? They were up to maybe $50 a share. But I think they're quite a legitimate company. And they recently broke above this 200-day moving average. We traded it after earnings when it sold down. And it just recently sold down from that high down about 13%. So kind of what we're looking at, RSI, MACD, maybe indicating a little bit more of a buy at this moment. You kind of see these levels develop. You got this trend that's starting to develop here, okay? And you have the support there, that rising support, and then you have also this resistance. You see previous support acting as resistance here. And with the exception of a big surgence right at their earnings, this is kind of how the chart looks. So when it comes down to the financials and how that lines up with their news and their recent partnerships, their financials recently reported that they came in with a negative net income, which is still better year over year, and their revenue was $18 million. And the revenue has been hovering between $15 to $25 million, which isn't bad because their market cap is actually a lot lower now, only 189 million. So that's not too bad. From an earnings perspective, they maybe have some work to do. They need to see more of a net income increase because their recent net income was not the most favorable. I mean, you could see it. That's quite the negative net income. So maybe they're, manufacturing. They're starting to build more of their tech to partner with these companies that they recently partnered with. And so the financials look okay, but then you look at the charts and we're kind of looking at this move here. So there is maybe a resistance level here that they could face. I could kind of map it out before we even look for the margins for profit. This resistance level here, it's kind of where it is right now. So you got resistance right there. It's been rejected. And it also kind of acted as a support, some consolidation. But there's a level there around $4.20 that we got to see if it can really break up above, right? That's the $4.30 range really is this level at which we'd like to see it push up. Now, if it starts to push up, start to see it cross over on the RSI, the MACD, maybe get more of a swing up here, then the next level is kind of in this range. So the margins for profit, at least whenever we're trading in our live sessions in Stockmates, which we do each morning, we're always looking for something that's a margin for profit of like 10% or 15% or 20%. And if we have those margins for profit along with a risk management of, let's say, 1% or 2%, then by executing that plan consistently and stacking a lot of probabilities in our favor, from the company's products to their market that they're in, to the chart making sense and the financials and all those things, and then entering at a good price is where we start to see the profits. And right here with LAZR, again, we made a nice trade on it earlier after earnings. It was just a week ago. And that's kind of one of the trades that's helped our account be up about 25-30% this last month. And as we're looking here, if it bounces, what we're looking for is confirmation, and maybe this swing right here be about a 15 to 20% swing upwards. And essentially what it would require is some positive investor sentiment, some good looks on potentially the Fed meetings coming up, which they're expected to potentially cut rates, which would soar the market. But also just continuation of a positive sentiment right now around robotaxis. I just recently went to Scottsdale, Arizona for the Qubits conference for one of the quantum companies. And when my wife and I landed there, we're getting off the airplane. We get to the airport. There's like 20 autonomous cars that are there driving people around with nobody in them, no driver in the front seat. So they're happening right now. They're getting approved in certain cities. And so LAZR is the type of tech that kind of like bolt on to a Nissan or bolt on to Volvo in this case with their partnerships, and be able to hook into their tech and potentially, very quickly provide some autonomous driving. So that's why we see value in the market. And again, after this recent sell down, if it starts to push up and validate the support, because right now it is kind of selling off, it's got a greater chance, even though with all these things, it's got a greater chance of continuing down, because it hasn't really, it's kind of stopped a little bit, but it's kind of showing signs of maybe stopping here and continuing up. And if this trend continues, again, it's about a 17% margin for profit, probably would have a 1 to 2% stop right around here, which would put us at about $4.10 stop. looking for about a $4.50 to $5 margins for profit. So we'll see if any opportunities present themselves, and we'll be looking at market open. If you want to get stock mates, which is our daily live trading, you get a free t-shirt. Even though they just upped the prices on tariffs, you can still get a free t-shirt. And on top of that, with Stockmate for free, you get it if you enroll in our virtual stock trading system. So if you're looking to not just get the daily live trading, but you want weekly Zooms that we have, it's there. And I say this, we have so much stuff on YouTube. Like, all power to you guys. I've been reading that some of our subscribers here on YouTube are making really good returns, and also our subscribers in Stockmates. Our Stockmates are making really good returns as well. So, all power to you. That we're gonna have content here for free. But if you feel that you want to work with me one-on-one, you get a free call. You get access to our new AI predictive analysis software that is still in beta, and you get beta access when it drops here. So Mercatus is really going to be one of the big softwares, I believe, that will change the game in the financial industry, as it's a software that's interchangeable with different AIs. It's not based on advanced algorithms. It's actually just based on real-time data, billions of data points, with a smart AI that you can interchange, whether it's Grok, whether it's OpenAI, whether it's Gemini from Google, or it's DeepSeek from China. If the model is performing the best as far as being able to execute the best price predictions for the future of different assets, then that's the one that you may choose to go with. And so that tool is coming out. It's going to allow you to do that. And again, beta access is included for free as a bonus in the virtual stock trading system. So first link down below for the system, second link for our daily live trading, but you get the daily live trading for free in the first link if you decide to enroll. We got a huge sale there, so again, it's closing. Thank you guys so much for watching. If I earned your thumbs up, hit the like button. Do consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.